By the way.
Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Same like yesterday. Oh, David's frozen. He's not coming back. Anyway, welcome to our 8 to 10 focus. David isn't moving, but he's smiling. That's great. I hope everyone is having a nice week or had a nice week and they have wonderful plans for this weekend. Please say hi in the chat. It makes the webinar so much better because we love interacting with the students and talking to you, which makes everything more fun. My name is Pearl, and I am from Florida in the United States. And I am one of the teachers in the Milano School in Montenero. So is David when he comes back. He's also my colleague, my coworker at the same school, and he is from South London. So, and he has a British accent. So,
I'm back. Sorry, it's like you pressed play and then suddenly it just kicked me out.
Yeah, all right. I introduced you, so you're good.
Oh, cool. I'm David. I'm British.
Yep. So yeah, please say hi in the chat. If you're new to the webinar, there is a delay, so we won't see your comments immediately, but we always do our best to try and respond to them as quickly as possible. But today we're going to practice conditionals, second and third. So what would you do in this focus activity? Revisions of second and third conditional and asking and answering hypothetical questions. Conditionals are hard.
Yeah, so there's lots of modals being used today, which is always good. It is difficult. So always time for revision.
Yep. So let's get started. Whoop. Good. Second conditional. When is second conditional used and how is it formed? So in the chat, I see we have 3 people watching. So we're not alone. So in the chat, tell David and I when the second conditional is used and what is the structure of second conditional. I think I use second conditional probably the most.
Yeah, me too, actually.
I think I use second.
Third is always quite specific, so it's not as common. And teaching them, I always make mistakes, actually. I always get the names of them wrong because I forget that it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, and not just 1, 2, 3, 4. Like Tatiana from St. Petersburg. Wow. But now she lives in Lyon, France. Very nice. Cool. Nice to meet you, Tatiana. Welcome. And yes, you're perfectly correct. The second conditional is for hypothetical situations. Awesome.
Absolutely. Hypothetical, not really possible situations, we could say. Do you know the structure of second conditional, Tatiana? Maybe you're writing it and we're just waiting for the delay.
What's the construction?
I think there was a delay because there are a lot of traffic with StreamYard and YouTube and Zoom and everything. So I think we have to be a little more patient.
Yeah, lots of people are online these days. So.
You know what conditional I don't think I rarely use? I think I really is zero conditional.
No, me too. I think it's usually first or second.
Yeah, first or second conditional I use. Definitely second conditional, but probably first.
Yeah. I also noticed the other day, actually, I use the first conditional, but instead of using will, I often use can.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool. So we've got, if I could fly, I would travel everywhere. Perfect. That is a perfect example of the second conditional, Tatiana. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, our structure is if and past simple, then would and the bare infinitive. So yeah, if I could fly, I would travel everywhere.
Our lovely examples. If I won the lottery, I would sail around the world. If I could live anywhere, I would live in New York. If I were taller, I would play basketball. But if I were, is special because in general, the past of to be for first person is was. But when we talk about conditionals, we use were, if I were.
Yeah, for no
Why?
reason, just
We don't know. This is just a rule. If you said was to me, I think I'd understand regardless, but it's were.
yeah, it would sound a little strange, but it's fine.
Yes.
I would understand, but it sounds really strange. So
Yeah.
yeah,
If I won the lottery, I would not sail around the world. You also make it negative. Sail? I don't want to sail around the world.
No,
Sail on a boat?
yeah, I think it could be fun.
No, I think I would fly around the world.
On a nice big yacht, I think it would be quite cool.
No, I have this fear of like dying at sea.
Oh, okay. So don't do it.
No, I'm gonna pass on the boat. If I could live anywhere, I don't know where I would live. I could live anywhere.
I'm happy in Milan.
I don't know. Any options?
Maybe London would be optimal because it's difficult to live in the center of London because it's so expensive, like New York, like many cities. But no, I'm happy in Milan. If I could live anywhere, I'm happy in Milan.
I want to live. I would want to live. I would want to live somewhere with better pollution, or not pollution, but better air quality.
Perfect. Good
Maybe
thinking.
California. No, but they're always like, I don't know. Huh. Great.
Cool. So hypothetical questions. What would you do if? What would you do if? So to make it a question, we just need to put the question word. Would is our auxiliary, and obviously we swap our subject to put the auxiliary verb as would. So, what would you do if you won $1 million in the lottery and you had to spend it in 10 days? You had the chance to travel around the world, all expenses paid for 7 days, but would lose your job in the meantime. Or what would you do if you left something in a locked building? Cool. 3 good questions.
We could also start with the hypothetical. If you won $1 million in the lottery and you had 10 days, you had to spend it in 10 days, what would you do?
Yeah, perfect.
So we can switch the order. It's just fine as well. Tatiana says, if I were stronger, I would become an athlete. Oh,
Nice.
nice. If I were stronger, I don't know what I would do. But that's a good idea to become an athlete.
Yeah,
But if I won $1 million in the lottery and I had 10 days to spend it, I don't know. I feel like $1 million isn't a lot because you could spend a majority of that on a house.
Yeah, at least half, I think, on a house.
Mm-hmm. So in the chat, tell us, what would you do if you won $1 million and you had to spend it in 10 days? I don't think I would have a problem spending. Wait, would I have to spend all of it in 10 days?
Yes, all of it gone.
Oh, okay. Then I think that'd be pretty easy. I have to spend. Oh, I want to save some though.
You want to save some?
Yes, because
so then I guess you need to invest. If you need to spend the money and you can't have cash,
I can put it in IRA and stocks.
I would buy gold, perhaps.
Ooh, that is smart. To buy gold. Oh, I would definitely buy another home and pay off my debt, pay my debt back for sure. Maybe buy a car.
Tatiana says, if I won $1 million in the lottery, I would open more Myes around the world. Yeah, I like it.
That's nice. Yeah. That is great. I mean, more
That's
jobs.
Really
tell our CEO that. He'd be excited.
Yeah, he'll be really happy.
Right?
Perfect.
I think I would buy a new home. Buy my parents a new home for sure.
Hmm.
And pay off my debt. I would first pay off my debt because I'm responsible.
Good thinking. My first thing would be buy a house, go on holiday, buy a phone, a new phone, and then buy gold to invest.
We're still responsible. We're adulting.
I know, right? When I was young, I would have probably said I would buy loads of chocolate.
I mean, I would still buy chocolate too, I'm sure, if I won $1 million, but it wouldn't be the majority of my purchases.
Yeah.
All right. If you had a chance to travel around the world, all expenses paid for 7 days, but would lose your job in the meantime, would you do it? I wouldn't do it.
No?
Lose my job?
All expenses paid?
No, I wouldn't do it.
No, I would, definitely.
Like any
You can
job.
you can teach English anywhere in the world. So I love my job. I don't want to go anywhere, but
Hi, Anna. If you won $1 million, you would buy a supercar. Wonderful. I
oh,
don't know.
nice.
I feel like it depends. I think for any job, I wouldn't like. I mean, I think a job would give me 7 days off. To be honest, I could probably do it.
But this is part of the condition. You must lose your job.
Oh, then no, I wouldn't do it.
No,
No,
I definitely would.
I don't think I would do it. Would you do it, Tatiana, Anna, if you had a chance to travel around the world on an all expenses paid trip, but you would lose your job? Would you do it?
But can you imagine you could go to LA and go to Disneyland and go to Las Vegas and stay in the best hotel?
I've already been there. I've been to
Or
Vegas.
you can go to Australia. You can
Maybe
see the outback.
if it was for a week, no. If it was for a year, then I would consider it. But for a week, no. Because travel alone around the world takes like days, so it wouldn't even be worth it for me. I mean, if it was for a year, I would consider it.
Good point. Good point.
Ooh, in spite of.
Oh, good language in there. I would jump at the chance in spite of the work.
I'm the only one.
Really good language there.
Yeah, good
To
job.
jump at the chance.
I don't know. I don't think I would do it.
Considering it's only a week, perhaps I would visit somewhere that's quite small but very diverse, and somewhere I haven't been. So maybe somewhere like Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, Pacific Islands.
I think as a teacher, maybe, but as like my old job, I wouldn't leave my job for 7 days.
Fair enough.
But for a year, then maybe a year, because then I would have a year to kind of look for another job instead of like a week. Because I think I would have anxiety about trying to find another job on my vacation, which I don't know.
I would. You could teach English online when you're looking for a job.
True. Now that I have the skill.
Yeah.
All right. If I had, I wouldn't consider the opportunity. Anna agrees. See, Anna, we are on the same page. David and Tatiana are on the same page, and Anna and I are on the same page. I wouldn't consider opportunity.
Fair enough. So then number 3, if you left something in a locked building, what would you do? What would you do? So imagine you leave your phone inside in the office overnight and it's just completely locked.
It is my alarm, so I'd be a little worried. I would be a little worried.
Or imagine if that happened now during the lockdown, you left something at work, like.
I would call everyone. We need to open the school. Well, I don't know because they couldn't contact me.
Yeah, if it was your
I don't
phone,
know.
there'd be no contact. But I would probably call the police to see what they can do.
What did I tell you what happened? What would you do? This is a funny story because it's kind of related, but not really. I was walking, it was before the lockdown really started happening, and it's in Milan. And I was walking at night near Parco Sempione. And when I was walking, it was like 10 o'clock at night. And this woman was locked inside the park. Did I tell you? I
No,
didn't tell you. There was
no.
a woman. Her friend was on the other side of the gate because the park they never closed the park that early, or because there's bars and stuff.
Hmm.
But she was locked inside the park because all the gates were like locked with a chain. So the woman
Okay.
was locked inside the park, and her friend was on the other side on the phone, and she was yelling like so angry because she's like, how could they lock the park and not check if people are inside? And I was thinking, what would I do if I were locked in a park
That's
and
hilarious.
you can't climb the fences at Parco Sempione because they're really tall and they're like pointy.
That's so funny. That's so funny. I love it.
I don't know. What should I do? And it was cold that night, so I don't know what I
So
would do.
maybe the park ranger came and opened. I call it park ranger. Maybe there's something different in the
I'm
city.
sure they came and rescued her, but like, can you imagine if I texted you, "Hey guys, I'm locked inside the park."
Hmm. It's funny though.
It is funny. What a great story to tell. Anna said, if I left something in a locked building, I would call the firemen or firefighters. Okay. Tatiana says, if I left something in a locked building, I would call the police and my friends. Depends
Yeah,
what I left. It depends
nice
on
and logical.
yeah.
I would call my friends as well, probably as the first panic response, and then think, yeah, the logical thing is the police.
It depends on what I left behind. If it was my phone, I would come back probably when it's open again. I
Yeah,
think I could survive without my phone for a day.
yeah. I hope.
It's like my wallet. I don't know. We'll see. Ooh, more hypotheticals. So, what would you do if you could spend 20 minutes talking to the president of your country?
Mm.
A famous movie star worth millions of dollars knocked on your apartment door and asked you to marry him or her. A dog on the street started talking to you in English. So, what would you do if these situations happened to you? Tell us in the chat.
Mm.
I could
20
spend.
minutes talking to the president of your country.
So, I would say
So,
my president, and it would not be good things.
no, same, it wouldn't be good. Anna says, my dad, when he was a child, he was closed inside a cemetery and he stayed there all night.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
that's
that
horrible.
that sounds terrible. Sounds frightening.
That's really scary. That's not nice. That's like the worst place to be overnight.
I think I would be traumatized. There's no way I would stay the whole night. I would find a way to get out
100%.
or make
100%.
someone wait on the other side of the gate with me the whole night so I wasn't alone.
Yeah. Or make someone get a tent or a sleeping bag.
Oh god. Now lesson learned. Don't go to a cemetery late at night
No,
after the
no.
sun sets. Oh. Ooh. Well, I hope it wasn't Halloween. Could you imagine Halloween locked in a cemetery overnight?
Oh, that would be the worst. That would be the worst.
I think I would be traumatized. I would be traumatized.
So these questions, 20 minutes talking to the president of your country. We don't have a president in the UK. We have a prime minister because we have a government and a monarchy. So we have a prime minister. Um, What would I do if I could speak to Boris Johnson for 20 minutes?
Well,
I would ask him how he got the virus,
yeah,
maybe.
we discovered that. Maybe you would laugh at him for 20 minutes.
Yeah, maybe. I could also ask him why he didn't lock down the country sooner.
Good question. Well, now it's for 6 months. Extreme.
Yeah. And then I would ask him if he will continue to cut spending on the NHS after this crisis.
That's a good question. 20 minutes is not enough time for me. I would need a lot more time to probably not ask questions to Donald Trump, but to say many things.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe the the questions I want to ask are you serious? Like, do you really think this?
Just really?
Like, really, do you think, like, what is your thought process? Like, are you like, this is how you really are as a person? Like, this is who you are. And then I would point out everything. I don't know, because then on the other hand, I feel like talking to Donald Trump is not, it's a waste of time because he wouldn't absorb anything that I would say.
Yeah, I think that's why I would ask questions.
I think that would make me mad because his answer would be stupid. Emma says, if I could spend time talking with our president, I would tell him that he must do something more to help people that aren't working in this moment, That's a great thing to say. Yes, it's a very difficult moment. Tatiana says, if I could speak to the Russian president, I would suggest extending the quarantine and closing all public places. I would suggest that to Donald Trump too, but I don't think he would listen. Actually, he wants to do the opposite. He wants everything to be back to business by Easter.
He's very optimistic, your president.
Optimistic or stupid? I don't think optimistic is the word. All right, second one. If a famous movie star worth millions of dollars knocked on your apartment door and asked you to marry him, depends who this movie star is.
Yeah, people, whenever I do this focus, they always say to me, it depends who it is. And I think, okay,
I can't think of a celebrity that's not married that I would be like, yes.
Tom Holland, the new Spider-Man.
No,
I would have to say yes.
But it's a waste of time because Russians are still so skeptical about the coronavirus.
Yeah, we would use an adjective there. Still skeptical.
I think who would have to know worth millions of dollars? I don't know. Because all the celebrities that I think are attractive are married already.
Yeah, but we're talking hypothetically, so ignore the wife.
Like Idris Elba? Absolutely.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Without the coronavirus.
Without the coronavirus.
Yeah, because he has the virus as well.
Yeah, I just love his voice. That's it. He was the first one that came to my mind. I was like, Idris Elba, absolutely.
Yeah. So I would say yes to this question. I would marry them. I would say yes. But I would, depending on who it is, if I don't actually love them, then maybe get a divorce afterwards and take half of the fortune.
Maybe they don't let you sign a prenup.
Yeah. Anna, I like that. If Brad Pitt knocked on my door, I'd marry him we'd say without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Perfect.
Remember, I just had someone in my mind that how I would do it. Who would not know my door? Can't remember now. I don't remember. Dang it. Just feel like older men just get better. When men age, they get so much better.
They can do.
Maybe Justin Trudeau.
Ooh, interesting. But he's not a movie star.
No, he's not.
And is he worth millions?
Huh?
Is he worth millions of dollars?
I mean, he's the Canadian president, so prime minister.
Yeah, there's power. Prime Minister.
Prime minister.
Because they have the same queen as us in the UK.
That's right. Famous movie star. Maybe Chris Evans, Captain America.
Ooh. Yeah. All the Chris's. Chris Pine, Chris Pratt.
I like Chris Pratt.
Hmm?
I don't really like Chris Pratt.
No? Oh, he's so good in Jurassic Park.
I've never watched those movies. I don't like
The
because it's
new
too
one.
scary. Yeah.
It's not scary. It's a dinosaur.
They kill people. I don't like gore.
Fair enough.
Even when I was little, I didn't like the original, whatever.
Okay.
Mark Ruffalo.
Oh yeah, definitely. Tatiana, speaking about the dog who speaks, we would use third person, a dog who speaks English. Actually, it happens to me sometimes in my dreams. I have lots of dreams in English.
That's
Wow,
wonderful.
interesting.
You have dreams in English.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, in your dreams, then, when you speak to a dog, what happens?
You know, I think if a dog on the street started talking to me in English, first I would look around to make sure that I'm alone before I started a conversation with this dog.
True, me too.
And tell it all my secrets.
Yeah, why? Because he can speak English, he can tell anyone.
But no one's going to believe a talking dog. We're like, I'm talking to a dog.
True, true. Do you have lots of secrets?
No.
And I would think I'm crazy. Mm-hmm.
That's why I would check to make sure I'm not being tricked. I would check. Yes.
I would ask him if he has any other special powers, and maybe ask him where he learned to speak English, because maybe I could get some special power, like learn to speak Italian or learn to speak like a dog.
Oh my God, if a dog starts talking to me in Italian, I don't know what I would do. Usually we are drinking tea. Drinking tea. Oh, that's very nice. In my mind, a talking dog has an American accent.
Okay.
And yours?
Definitely British.
They're posh.
Yeah. British like mine though, but not like Cockney, like South London, like mine.
I don't know. It would be a man voice. I don't know why. It's what I think of. I don't know.
Oh, that's just reminded me, talking dogs. I downloaded Disney Plus yesterday, so I'm very excited to watch Lady and the Tramp tonight.
I don't know how I feel about it. There's so many films I want to see, and then now that I have the opportunity to see them, like I'm too lazy.
Too lazy in a quarantine to watch a film.
Yeah, I'd rather do something else. Okay, bye, Anna.
Bye, Anna. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm not too lazy.
Like, I like the original Lady and the Tramp film, the animated one, but seeing the advert for this one, it looks good, but it does look like just a normal dog film, you know, which is quite a specific genre, and I don't usually like those films. So fingers crossed it's good.
We'll see. I have a few things I want to watch. I'll get around to it.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to a more difficult conditional. Third conditional. So Tatiana and other students, there's 4 of you. When is the third conditional used, and what is the structure of third conditional? It's a little difficult to explain when third conditional is used. Maybe it's a posh dog. Oh yeah, it can be a posh dog. Feel the dog in your pants are very posh.
I love that you are calling it the other students. So if they're just watching, please answer, please interact with us, talk to us.
Why not?
Yeah, good.
We love talking to the students. It makes the webinar so much better. And it gives the student an opportunity to practice writing in English.
Exactly.
It's important.
Perfect. Yeah.
I would say more unrealized situations. Unrealized situations. So unrealized situations in the past and the unrealized results, the imaginary results from the unrealized actions in the past.
Yeah, but it is impossible for these to become reality, 100%. So the way I teach it, you've got 0, 1, 2, 3. 0 is certain, 100% scientific fact. Number 1 is very likely, very common, hypothetical, and then impossible, unrealized. So the higher the number, the less possible it is.
Yes.
Perfect.
Which could have happened. Don't you hate it's which could have happened?
Perfect. Yeah.
Yes. Do you know the structure of third conditional, Tatiana? The structure is difficult. You know, I've realized that I do use second the most, but I also mix conditionals quite a bit.
Me too. I always mix second and third.
I just don't, and you do it without even realizing.
Yeah. I'm lighting my candles so that it's more.
The ambiance.
Yeah, more zen in here. I've got my little candle.
So that could count. Good. So it's if plus past participle, if plus past perfect, and then present perfect, right?
Yeah. So it's not could, it would be if I had been able to, I would have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So past perfect and then would plus present perfect.
Yeah. Because if I could have, I would have, that would be a mixed conditional.
Mm-hmm. We're mixing modal perfect there.
2 and 3. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so talking about, for example, if I had studied harder, I would have graduated. If I had been born in England, I would have been fluent. If I hadn't slept in, I wouldn't have been late to class.
Perfect.
Past perfect, present perfect was would. We got it. Would is such a very special modal, isn't it?
Yeah, it changes all the time. Magic verb. Cool. So here we've got loads of unrealized, impossible past situations. and we can reimagine our lives. Imagine there was no quarantine and these situations had happened. How would today have been different if you had woken up 2 hours late this morning? How would today have been different if it had snowed last night? How would your life have been different if you had studied something different at university, or if you had been born in England? What would you have done if you had been born in ancient Egypt, or if you had met Princess Diana? Some really nice questions there.
If I had woken up 2 hours late this morning, I have to mix the conditional. My life would be the same.
Would be the same, or would have been the same?
It would still be the same now.
Ah, so it's a mixed conditional.
A mixed conditional. See, when we use third conditional, like when we mix a conditional, especially with second, when we use second, we're still talking about something that affects the present now. We want to use third conditional and third conditional if everything's happening in the past, the results are happening in the past. So my life, it still affects my life now. So I can still say my life would be the same. Yeah. Or I wouldn't have eaten breakfast.
Yeah, there you go for your third conditional.
Yes, I would mix. You can mix, or you can use completely third. So if I had woken up 2 hours late this morning, I wouldn't have eaten breakfast, but I would still be doing what I'm doing now.
Perfect. If I had woken up 2 hours late this morning, I would have missed 2 Myes webinars.
Wow.
Tatiana, wow. Watching lots of webinars.
It's good for you.
Really good. That's why you're dreaming in English, because you're watching lots of webinars, using lots of English. Really, really good. You will see really good progress by doing that.
Maybe we should do it in Italian. We should watch.
We should, 100%. I tried to make Disney Plus Italian yesterday, and I made the app Italian. So it was saying like originali, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
And then I go onto the film and everything was English. I tried to change the language, no Italian, only English or Spanish.
Well, I can see it when I do it.
On Disney Plus? Ah, maybe it was just the film I was watching.
Maybe. You're totally obsessed with Myes webinars. Great, I love that. You'll probably see us again next week or sometime. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, if you like our webinars on Instagram or Facebook, you can follow the individual schools and see videos and posts that we're making, also to keep everyone entertained on other social media platforms during this quarantine. So just to remind you, Pearl, you must have introduced at the beginning, but we're from Myes Montenegro. So if you want to see our videos, just search Myes Montenegro. I'll type it in as well.
Yeah, we just did a tongue twister video. So Tatiana, if you want to see it, you can watch it. They posted it.
Oops, I typed it in wrong. There's no gap, but yeah, Myes Montenegro, and you can see our videos on Instagram or on Facebook. Perfect. So did they post our tongue twister video?
They did.
Wow, cool.
Oh, isn't that nice? Yeah. It's fun. We do fun videos, Tatiana. But continuing, if it had snowed last night, how would today have been different? It wouldn't have been different. We're in quarantine.
It wouldn't have been different because we don't go outside. But I would have posted things on Instagram or on Facebook saying it's snowing and it's very cold. Yeah.
I think we would have seen a lot of people reacting on social media about the snow. But funny, because I checked the weather for next week because I always check the weather. And I saw that on Thursday, I think there's the snow icon and I think it might snow.
In Milan.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. It's crazy. It's
I mean,
April nearly.
I'm sure it's not. They're not going to. It's not going to snow.
Yeah.
It never snows in here. But fun fact.
Yeah, it's a very distant prediction, but still, that's crazy.
Right. How would your life be Your life. Ooh, how would your life be have been different if you had studied something different at university?
Ooh. I don't know. I think maybe I would have spent a year abroad doing an Erasmus or an exchange program, maybe in America or a European country.
If I had studied something, well, in university, when I was in university, I had decided between medicine or business. So I think if I had studied medicine instead, I wouldn't have moved to Europe both times.
Ooh, fair enough. I'm glad that you came to Europe.
I'm
I'm
glad
glad you didn't study medicine.
I'm glad I didn't study medicine too, because if I had studied medicine, I would be present working in a hospital right now, exposing
Ooh, true.
myself to the coronavirus.
True. Tatiana, if it had snowed last night, I would have enjoyed it through the window. Perfect. Yeah, like all of us.
Yes.
Yeah. Careful of your spelling there of night. I don't know if that's just a typo, but careful on it. It's a GHT. GHT.
Yep. I had said something different at university. I'm glad. I am happy I didn't study medicine.
You would have caught the coronavirus by now, I'm sure.
I would have come to coronavirus because America is completely ill-equipped to handle what is happening in the country now.
So the next question is a bit difficult for me.
How would my life have been different if I had been born in England? If I had been born in England, I would have traveled around Europe sooner.
Yeah, definitely.
Or I would have an English accent. And I think I do.
You do a very good English accent.
Yes.
When you try. I'll change this question a little bit. If I had been born in Italy, I would probably like tomatoes. At the moment, I hate them. They're disgusting. They are, ugh, I can't eat tomatoes. So if I had been born in Italy, I would probably like tomatoes.
If I had studied something different in university, I would have studied human rights. Good job, Tatiana. Perfect.
Oh, nice.
That's nice. If I had been born in Italy, I wouldn't have become a teacher, an English teacher.
Yeah, true. Me as well. Too.
I wonder if I would have spoken English at all.
Oh, we hope so. It's a very important language to learn for international anything, holidays, work, friends, family.
Exactly.
Cool. Next one. What would you have done if you had been born in ancient Egypt? Ooh.
I think if I had been born in ancient Egypt, I would have been born in a poor system, like one of the lower people.
Oh, why?
I don't think I would have been royalty. I don't know, because I'm not very lucky.
I would have been the pharaoh for sure, 100%.
All the pharaohs died. Horrible death.
Everyone
We're
died.
obsessed with pharaohs.
True. I think that's just for a good bloodline, though. So they probably had their scandals on the side as well,
True.
which I could do.
If I had been born in ancient Egypt, I would have been very tan.
Mm-hmm. If I had been born in ancient Egypt, I would have built a very big pyramid for myself.
Because you would have been a pharaoh.
I would make sure that my pyramid is the biggest.
The aliens did it.
Yeah, I would have asked the aliens to build a good pyramid for me.
Or I would have swam in the Nile.
Oh, nice one.
Close to the land, crocodiles. If I had been born in England, I would have become an English teacher too. Aw.
Cool. I like that. Cool job. Nice.
It is a cool job. I don't think it's appreciated enough. It's a great job. Changing lives. That sounds great. If I had met Princess Diana, what would I have done? I probably would have been silent from shock.
Fair enough. I would probably give her a hug, or I would have given her a hug.
Or I would have been really nervous because I don't know the proper way to address royalty.
You curtsy.
What do you call her?
Her Royal Highness, I believe, because Majesty is Queen or King, but Your Royal Highness.
So Your Royal Highness or Her Royal Highness? Yeah. Your Royal Highness.
If you're speaking directly to her, Your Royal Highness. If you're speaking about her, Her Royal Highness, the Princess of Wales.
That's a mouthful.
Or if you want to be specific, because sometimes there is more than one person with the same title, you would have to say Her Royal Highness, the Princess of Wales, Princess Diana.
Say it again. I'm counting the words.
Her Royal Highness, the Princess of Wales, Princess Diana.
That's 9 words.
Mm-hmm.
Could I say Princess Diana?
Nope. Definitely not.
Or just like Princess?
No, you've seen The Crown.
I don't remember. Did they say what the servants call her Majesty, Your Majesty?
Yeah, but when so imagine the Queen is in a room, like the living room or something, and someone's coming in to introduce them. They say, Your Majesty. I present Her Royal Highness, the Princess of Wales, Princess Diana.
Do I have to say Royal Highness? Could I just say Your Highness? They don't say Your Majesty. They say Your Majesty, like Your Highness.
If you're speaking to them, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're presenting them, you'd say, this is Her Royal Highness, Princess of Wales, Princess Diana.
So if I had met Princess Diana, I would have stayed silent because there is no way I could have remembered all this information.
If I had met Princess Diana, I would have tried to introduce her and probably embarrassed myself.
That's true. I would have for sure embarrassed myself. I would have for sure embarrassed myself. Yes. All right. It is at the 50 mark. We learned so much today.
Yeah. That's gone really quick.
Yeah. Thank you, Tatiana, for talking to David and I. It was really great to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
And good job with the conditionals. They are not easy, but you did very well. Well, we hope you have a nice weekend and that you are safe in France and yet you're staying inside. And we hope to see you and everyone else soon.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.